Hello, everybody. I think a few of you know me already. I always have to move a little bit around, so I will not stand behind the thing here. Maybe to start with one provocative sentence which made me laugh in the last year. It was said that digital is for pharma like high school sex. Everybody talks about it. Few are doing it, and nobody does it right. This changed over the last months, I would say, but still pharma, from the Google perspective, is the last developed industry, the last developed vertical that we have, with a tremendous growth. In the last year, I hired 5 people to support my team because now it's getting more complicated. Everybody wants to know something not only about digital websites, they want to know about mobile, about social, about video, about search, and so on and so on. So a big change, still at the very, very, very beginning. And I heard a lot of discussions today about how do we involve our C-level decision makers in this game, which is quite difficult because they are not digital natives. They're digital immigrants, and I just give you one example. If you might ask one who never had a license for a helicopter, and you put a bicycle and a helicopter next to each other, and you say, you have to go 10 kilometers, what device do you take? And if this person was never sitting in a helicopter and never have a flying license and never tried anything, he would rather for this 10 kilometers, even if it is much lower, takes a bicycle because he knows about the bicycle. Flying with a helicopter, you need some guidance, you need some experience, you need some pilots, and then you can fly with a helicopter and you are much, much faster. But in this situation right now, we have everybody on bicycles still. So I was wondering in the morning, there was a question about the impact of social for pharma, and 50% say it's it's overestimated. And I was quite shocked about it because I think from our point of view, where we stand right now, it's totally underestimated. It will change totally business and value change. It will change a lot of things that are actually in the moment still in place. I think it will even change the role model of the pharma rep, but this will take some years still from now. So to start off, because everybody asked me today to talk about mobile, and I will come to mobile in a bit, I just want to start with the pharma marketing guy who has lots and lots and lots of questions in his face in the moment. I cannot get all the questions on the board, but I'm always asked, what are the newest, hottest trends? And how can I leverage them? And what will change? And how can I use social? And what about Twitter? And so on. Many, many, many questions. What about ROI? I hear this question quite a lot. But at the end of the day, this guy is scattered because he doesn't know what to do. He knows that there's something really big out there, but he doesn't know how to start. And as he doesn't know it, he will not start. So about the trends, there are 5 sustainable long-term trends that we see in Google. And these are these 5 ones. I don't know if you can read them very well. First one is videocracy. In 2013, 2014, it is forecasted that 90% of all internet traffic will be video. Huge trend. So when you build some digital assets right now, think about video. It will be tremendously strong in the future. Second is about social. I don't have to touch it much. I think everybody knows about Facebook. Everybody knows about Twitter. I have in the backup of my presentation some very interesting links that explain Google+, because I'm approached right now a lot. How is Google+ working, and when do we get any business profiles on Google+, and so on and so on. In the moment, it's not yet the case. We are working on it. The success and the fast growth of Google+ were a little bit overwhelming us, and therefore we still have to wait. But it's open to public now. You can get your Google+ account. Yeah. but it's a huge, tremendous movement that we see in the web. Not for pharma, but for all other business, let's say. Being a little bit provocative. The next thing is local. Local is a huge development that we see if you think about like City Deal, Daily Deal, Groupon. There are many, many companies out there who are actually focusing on local deals. That means you are within your smartphone in a certain situation and a certain surrounding. And everybody knows where you are as a consumer, as a patient, as a doctor. And therefore, within this situation, you can advertise directly against the location where the persons are in or against the situation where the person is in. And therefore, it's a huge trend, it's a huge development, also for Google, very strong driving force. The next thing is mobile. I come to this in a second. And the last thing is search metric. Because there are so many information out there, because I liked very much the speech of Judith when she showed how much we are now able and capable to listen to all the informations available in the web. So it is so cluttered. There are so many informations in there. So the first thing is which are the relevant ones, and the second thing is how we react on it, and the third thing is, and I think this was described very well, how we listen to it. You know, there's also free available tools like Insights for search, Insights for YouTube, and so on and so on. And to combine it all in a dashboard, I think it's a very good idea. So search metric will not go away because information are out there and it's so cluttered that we will not have any other way to actually access them. So now coming a little bit to mobile. Now, before I do this, I go to this circle that we see here. You have mobile search sites. This is your content. It's very important, and it's not good made in pharma, I have to say. Display and video, and also social in the middle. It's all in, and it will be more and more and more interconnected. We are already working since some time, I would say more than 2 years, of integrating social within our search results, within the algorithm, because now we know what network this person who is searching for some information is in. So all these things are getting more and more interconnected. If you have like sites, are they already video? Is it connected to some big platforms? How do we play video on mobile? How is it then actually displayed in the relevant context? How we can comment to it. It's a big, big game, and you have to cover, if you talk about digital, you have to cover all of these areas. In the moment, I think we are still, even in digital, working in silos, but we don't connect it enough. And here you also see how this is driving the traffic of the internet. These are German figures. This is Google. Is Facebook, like I said, social, very strong. This is YouTube. And then you can see here, even down the line, T-Online, which is a mobile provider. So within this space, we are actually acting and working. And we always have to think, if we do something on a website, how do we translate it to video, to mobile, and to social? And if you see this development, then you understand also why this was quite overwhelming for us. These are 50 million users, and you see the time that it took over the years until this actually was hitting 50 million, and the iPhone was even faster than the so-called very fast internet. That means, now broken down to a German market, 12 million users have already a smartphone, 43% are online every day, and 4.5 million conversions in 2010. This is changing dramatically in 2011 again. That means 4.5 million people already did a transaction, a shopping transaction on their mobile phone in 2010. And I picked this number. This is a query volume, the search volume for healthcare from 2009 until May 2011 on smartphones. You see what this means to your business? It's incredible how this grows. It's about 350% in less than 2 years. We expect that in the moment between, depending on indication and category, between 7 to 12% of all searches within Germany are already done by smartphones connected to healthcare. So you better be quick. And these are the health queries in general, and also here the trend is still enormous. I just looked the numbers of 2011 because it's already gone this year, and it's again at 23–24% the year 2011. So you have a huge organic growth. This is all search queries. The mobile one is then coming into this and cutting pieces off from the desktop. But this is just in Western European developed market. In other markets, you have a tremendous reach of smartphones compared to desktops. Like India or China, this would look totally different. Everybody is online, we know that. These people are the last ones getting in, the over 60-year-old ones. They are coming now into the web. It's already 1/3 of them online. And if you cut the demographics, the age split, then you can see that 12.6, 15.5, 23%, this is the population of Germany that is online. It's more than half. And these are the people from 40 to 60 plus. So half of the people is over 40 who is online in Germany, but also in other Western European markets. UK is a little bit more. And to come back of relevance, these are search queries that we see in Google, and we put them in buckets like tech, healthcare, entertainment, fast-moving consumer goods, travel, finance, and auto. Auto looks a little bit poor because every 3 years you buy a new car. This is why there are less search queries. But you can also see that there's one involving element of all the search queries which is related to health. This is the main category that people, doctors, but also patients are looking for in Google. You don't have to photograph this, you will get the whole, you will get the whole presentations as always as a download, yeah? But you can. Yeah. So coming back to our poor marketing guy, because he already had a very full job before digital started, and now he's actually asking, so I have to also cover digital? I would say yes. What I don't think is the right approach is if you have digital experts within your structures and organizations. Then you would also need to have a TV marketing team, I don't know, a sales marketing team, a print marketing team, an event marketing team, and so on and so on. The important thing is that you get an integrated approach. And if there's somebody coming and say, I'm digital manager, then you ask them, you're digital, so what are you? Are you mobile? Are you video? Are you search? Are you content, or are you social expert, or are you expert overall? So what I think was right at the beginning is that you have digital experts, but now you are in a transition phase where you have to put digital within the center of your communication and your value chain. And this is sometimes still, I think, very much missing. 81% visitors of websites come for search. I think you know that all. It's also true for smartphones. They are searching exactly the same intents. Some are already in the virtual shelf. Here I put impotence, and Lily is clearly in this, owning this category. There are others like menstruation problems. Buscopan should be in, they are not in. So this is, just the way how it is today. Sometimes it's very cluttered. Some people, because they have a digital expert within their company and he's loud enough to get heard, then you are in. Sometimes you don't have anybody who's expert on this, then you are out. But what you don't have is a strategy. And I think in the moment we are still seeing like J&J, MSD, big companies are slowly getting into the space. This is on arthritis. But they are too slow, in my point of view. I see a lot of smaller and mid-sized business are much faster overcoming them and getting into this. I don't want to scare you. I just want to tell you that if you look at other industries, the retail industry, the travel industry, the finance industry, the insurance industry, all these big industries, they were not looking at digital, and then they were overwhelmed. And some of the big companies even got bankrupt. So be aware that there's something going on tremendously fast with tremendous search volumes, tremendous involvement, and in the moment, pharma is not part in this dialogue. I see always the same faces here, and I'm very skeptical if C-level engagement is already taking place. In the last years, the trust of online health care sources, information sources, grew by 44%. It's a trusted media. After the doctor, before the pharmacist, is the most trusted source of information. And if you see the patients, what they are doing, the first thing that they do, 75%, they search for symptoms online. And then when they come back from the doctor on RX medications, 70% are searching again in the web for information. 64%, before they go and take the first action, they go to Google and search for their symptoms. 64%, before they even talk to their friends or family. And if you see the sources of healthcare information, you see general health websites. So here the big portals already overtook the big pharma, like on Meda, Focus, Gesundheit, Thermo, and so on. They're already in this game. Search engines are in. And the funny thing is, wow, pharma websites, they're here. So you're owning this industry, you are the industry, but you're not part of this dialogue, and you seem to be not within the center of the communication. If you see the search queries, I go over it very quickly. You see that mental health is obviously the main RX category. Why? Because you don't go to a doctor and say, I'm crazy. So it's very intimate. And this is why you first try to find out, is there something wrong with me or not? Pain is a very broad category. This is why, obviously, number 2 is pain, and so it goes on and on and on. If you want to know a specific indication or a specific region, just tell me. If you look at healthcare professionalists, they're using search a little less. We saw that e-patients are in general going with 81%. Healthcare professionalists are coming to 71%. It's not a small number, but this is how they start their information seeking. And if we look into the healthcare professional interests, then we see 50% are looking for indications, 36% on diseases, and 33% about medications. Also an interesting pattern of search terms. So, conclusion from all what I said before. Online strategy needs to be a C-level task. It's not that you have young professionals somewhere in your big hierarchies doing something very crazy that nobody understands, and you better don't talk to them. It really needs defined KPIs, and it needs an ROI model. And you should set this up before you start any project. Otherwise, you have a CMO or CEO project. I like this very much. We have to be on Twitter, do something on Twitter. Yes, I do. This is sometimes the only KPI that I discover. So we have to be aware of that, and we have to, even if it is hard, and I was innovation manager for BMW, and I know how hard it is, we have to convince our C-level guys, and we have to bring them to these conferences. Otherwise, they stay in their ivory tower, and they say, yeah, I said that we do something on Facebook, and now they do something in Facebook, so we are there. So, then the next question I always get is about best practice. Can you tell us some best practice? Yes, I can. The point is, and maybe you get, after a while, bored, for 3, 4, 5 years, we saw a lot of best practice presentations. Yeah, we did this project, and it worked very well, no. You can do this, but what I'm missing still is the overall digital strategy within many of the pharma companies. So if you like best practice, I think this is a good example. It's from Lilly Pharma, and it's an integrated campaign and had TV spots. You know that they, RX cannot, at least in Germany, cannot promote their brands. So they invented a claim. They said heroes of love or Helden der Liebe. And within this claim, Helden der Liebe, they had a big URL within their TV spot. They had print ads, they had websites, they had banners, and they had a search campaign. So I think it's a very good example for an integrated approach. And it's also clever because they didn't use a branded term that you are not allowed for legal reasons. They invented something else. They said heroes of love or Helden der Liebe or whatsoever. And the point is, you know Insights for Search, so I don't explain it, but you see the search term impotence in Germany was on a very strong level. And then suddenly, because they were running a PR campaign and the TV campaign and a search campaign, you see heroes of love peaking up and almost reaching the high level of impotence. So they were owning a category. This is a very good example for integrated marketing, and I think it's also a very good example for a disease awareness campaign, because they wanted to send them to the doctor. And now comes the big but. Heroes of Love was a very good example. The point is that we normally are not good in setting up content and websites that are actually interesting either for healthcare professionalists or for the e-patient. I always have the joy to read a lot of websites from pharma, and it's really the most boring lecture that I have. And I don't know why. Yeah. And if we would do Google like that, I think some of you know this picture already, but I showed it anyway because I like it so much. This is how a user would love to have us. And this is what he gets. If we would listening to our advertisers, then we would look like that. And this is sometimes how the pharma website is still looking. We are good, buy us. It's not that strong, but I'll give you another example. This, for example, is Mars. So it's a chocolate bar. It's called Ballisto. And the funny thing is, they really asked me to drive search on this site. And the only thing that you can do there is to answer the wonderful question, what Ballisto type are you? This is the thing that I always wanted to know. And I hope that you don't record this, because then Mars calls me and they are not my client anymore. And what you can also do on this website is you can download their TV ad. Wow. It's really cool. Because when I'm already disturbed when I watch the Champions League on TV and they disturb me with ads, then it's okay, because I want to watch soccer, but nobody comes there to watch their TV ad. There was a brand manager, I think, who was very proud of his brand and about his TV ad. but it's not made for the consumer. And I give you this hard example to make you think of your websites and your website content. Because sometimes pharma, in a different way, looks a little bit like this. What is a good example is, for example, Procter & Gamble. They have a website that is called For Me. You know, you could do this. You could say, our website is called, I don't know, pain.de or health.something or whatsoever. The point is that they have wellness, well-being, family, partnership, house, garden, cooking, recipes, and so on and so on. Actually, Procter & Gamble is the one or the biggest spender on the word cooking recipes. And if you think about Procter, they don't even have a single product for cooking. But they attract consumer because they want to talk to household leading people, household leading women, and they are looking for recipes, and then they bring them into their brand. And then with this site, on average, every person who was on that site buys 3.3 times as much from Procter than the people who were not on this site. That means an increase of revenue of more than 300%. In pharma, it looks sometimes this website like that. You bring from Google people in, and then they land here, and then there are dark corridors, and you go further down and down and down. And then somewhere you find the hidden information, but you don't get the way up again. And either you jump from the tower or you leave this page immediately. The point is, why don't you build websites that are like that? Every information is in a little facet of this ball. So if I want to have something on indication, I just go there. If I want to have something on side effects, I go there. If I want to know where the next PR congress about diabetes is, I go there. But always immediately with one click. And I don't have to click all the way down and up again and down again, and I get lost. We have to talk about this digital content. Otherwise, you are not able to leverage the potential of social, of video, of mobile, of search, because your digital assets are crap. This is why I'm doing this. It's not my business, I know, and I'm not in a creative agency, but we have to think about it. Otherwise, we should not talk about digital. Question? 1 minute? 1 minute? Okay, 1 minute. There are some other wonderful examples in, but I give you maybe the last, wow, there are many clicks. The last strategy on the way. Blah, blah. It's a lot about video as well, so you can learn this. So I like that. At the beginning, you define what you want to reach. Then you look how much of your target group is online and how much is offline. Then you say, okay, I have a younger target group, I increase online. If I have an older one, I decrease. If I have a niche, I increase online. If I have mass, I reduce online. If I have them defined from my whole budget, which includes the sales reps and everything, and the events and all the things, then I define what should be push, display, and what should be pull, search. In pharma US market, you have a figure 60% display, 40% search in average. Then you look at your content, the most important thing. You define your brand territory, where you want to play. Then you do a traffic estimation, and then you can run whatever campaign that you want to run, like social, search, mobile, or whatsoever. But this is a very, very important process of thinking. If you don't do that, then you are lost at the beginning, and then somebody comes to you and says, we need to be on Twitter, be there, and you do. So at the end of the day, I hope that this industry is also succeeding in leveraging digital. I think you make tremendous steps. We are growing year over year, almost triple digits on health. There is still a lot to learn, still a lot to do. And then if you have done the homework of digital assets, then you go and leverage mobile, social, video, and all the other things. Thanks a lot, and now up for questions.
Thank you very much, Jens. There's one question here.
Yes, hi. Renato Reggi, 3C Interactive. We have a mobile platform, but you have 4 slides that I'd like to bring together in one question. The slides are relative to the increased concern for healthcare costs. You had a slide where you had growth inquiries in healthcare. Extrapolated through that, you have 5 silos or 4 silos: tech, healthcare, entertainment, family, FMNG, and travel. And then the providers of that particular, the different columns of the types of searches being pharma all the way down. Are you able to extract from there the cross-reference between those inquiries and create a Procter & Gamble or PG conclusion that in the healthcare, related to travel, related to entertainment, related to wellness and being, and how pharma can then create that page of the recipe book for those particular inquiries?
Yeah, we have, together with Procter Global, worked on a strategy, how much of their media spend should be in which of the different categories. I cannot tell it to you, not in public. No, I cannot tell it to you. But obviously, as I showed in my last slide, you have to really think of what is your objective? Is it awareness? Is it, I don't know, compliance management? Is it bring people to the doctor or whatsoever? And from this starting point, you can then conduct what would be the places to be. And at that point, I would also say, then we can look in keyword tools from Google, which are free, to actually understand how big the search volume and the relevant terms are. Because I would always start with my content. What is interesting for my target group, for my audience, and then how big are the search queries, and then I would match it, and then I would build a strategy for the content. And after the content, I would then think how to distribute it via social, via video, via mobile, via search. Yeah. But I cannot give you a rule of thumb how big it should be. It's depending very much on the case. I sometimes also say we should not do any search.
Okay, I think that's apart from one question that I have. Well, actually, that came up on the Twitter feed several times. You showed a lot of data from Germany. How is that? Can you extrapolate the data to European level, or is there a significant difference?
I can. If you look at pharma, I would take a group: Benelux, UK, Germany. That is maybe the strongest or most active digital group that we have in Western Europe. Then a little bit below, there's Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, and some Eastern European countries that are in like a second group. And then there's a third group that is not so far in digital. The numbers that I showed are referring to the most developed markets. Okay. So in average, comparing Benelux, UK, Switzerland, Austria, Germany, they are the leading pack, and I think they are more or less the same. Yeah.